It's a Riverwalk that has so much community love. People come down here because they want to be around other people, and that's a simple thing. We live in cities because we're excited about being around people who are different from us, and we want to be around those big crowds. We want to have places where we can interact with nature in the context of a big city and have that peaceful experience, but we also want to be around other people, and the Detroit Riverwalk is a very diverse gathering place. When the Detroit Riverwalk was named the best Riverwalk in America, it really gave us an opportunity to tell the story of the transformation in a different way. We have 3 million visitors come down on an annual basis, but there are still people in the city of Detroit who've never come down here. So that was a great opportunity for us to really spread the word and take that national platform to help other people know and more people know that the Riverwalk is here, and it's here every day to serve this community. In the 20 years since the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy was founded, we've seen over $2 billion invested in the Riverfront District. That means a tremendous amount of jobs here and a huge impact on the tax base. The Riverfront transformation has inspired so many things in this area, big things like renovations to Huntington Place and small things like people improving their facades and streetscape improvements on Joseph Campo. And we're really excited to see places like General Motors thriving at the Renaissance Center. 300 years ago, this is where we first started to settle and gather, and the place where Detroit was founded was right here on the water. Our industry grew because of beaver trapping. It accelerated because of Detroit Stove Works, which is right down the street, and then you had Uniroyal Tire supporting the auto industry at General Motors and Ford at the Renaissance Center. So it's really always been an important place to us. But when we took this from an industrial wasteland and turned it into a place that's perfect for families, the community was worried about this place before we got started because it had been so industrialized. And people look at the riverfront and they say, how is that going to be safe? How will this ever be a place where my kid or my grandma is going to feel comfortable? So we spent a lot of time focusing on that, and we've built an amazing operations team that really understands the mission of what we're doing and feels so proud every day to make this a place that's beautiful, safe, and clean. One of the key obstacles we had to overcome was the legacy of industry down here. We've hired amazing engineering talent, we've hired amazing environmental consultants who have helped us work with the EPA, work with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and work with many others to really make sure that this place is cleaned up as we're building the public spaces. So when kids come down, they go to put a shovel into the sandbox. We don't have to worry about them getting sick because of that. It's a very expensive endeavor for us, but it's something that we've really perfected over the years, and it's a big part of our legacy that we're very proud of. The riverfront is full of native plants. Every landscape architect we've hired has been obsessed with the idea of rebuilding the natural ecosystem. So not everything is native here on the riverfront. We do have some popsicle here and there, but a lot of it is sustainable and native to this area. And it's been neat to see the programming involved with that as well. We have a great partnership with the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, which helps to do education around fish, wildlife, and the native planting species around here. We do herbal walking talks on an annual basis where people can walk around and actually see what herbs you can pick in the riverfront. And we've really focused a lot on the sustainability of this space as well. It's important for us to heal this area. It's an important part of the ecosystem of the riverfront. And a big part of that has been cleaning up sediments in the river and also creating a habitat along the shoreline. A lot of the Detroit riverfront had been transformed with significant amounts of a hard edge seawall, and that's terrible for fish and wildlife. So as we're going through building the Riverwalk, where it's possible, we've been softening that shoreline so that insects and fish and birds can have a much better habitat for nesting and also for spawning. And that's been a very successful part of our project. Detroit is a city full of amazing public spaces. Unfortunately, we've seen some of those places fall into disrepair. So when the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy started investing tremendous amounts of money in the transformation of the riverfront, we knew we had to promise that this place would always be maintained at a level that would make us proud, make our funders proud, make our partners proud. We got started with the Kresge Foundation. We put $50 million into this project. General Motors, who started off with $25 million in the project, and the city of Detroit, who had assembled a lot of this land and provided it to us so we could build the Riverwalk. We didn't want to let those partners down, and since then we've literally had over hundreds of partners who have invested in this space. And the riverfront is important to millions of people who come down here on an annual basis. We don't ever want to fall down on our responsibility of stewardship, so the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy takes that very seriously. And thankfully we've been able to build an endowment at the Community Foundation And we've also been able to build partnerships with the city, the metro parks, and others that will help us to sustain that support over time.